When you're fly fishing for pike, it's really important to pay attention to your leader. Now you can't just use a normal mono leader tied straight onto the fly. The pike will just bite straight through it. So instead, you need to attach something like this. Now that is just a normal kind of wire that an angler fishing a deadbait would use. And you can use this quite happily with flies, just thread it through and then get yourself some of these. This is just a little crimp. You crimp that on there and that will work. But now, there are much better products available to the fly angler. Now this stuff, that is like a coated wire. And what's lovely about this is that you can actually knot it. My real favourite is this. Now this is like a braid. There's a real nice wire core all down through that. But just look how sort of pliable and supple it is. It's absolutely brilliant for fishing flies on. The only thing with this is that it tends to be quite shiny. And so what I'll have is like a black marker and just rub that up and down on the leader and it will take the shine off, and this is a really good leader for pike fly fishing. On to the end of my 10-weight fly line. I've got this. Now this leader is serious stuff. It's about 20 to maybe even 25 pound, and I quite like to use fluorocarbon. And I'd use about 6 feet up to maybe a maximum of about 10 feet of that leader. And then here I've got it connected into my braid, and I've just used a little sort of double grinner knot there. There's various ways of splicing that in. If you're using wire, you might use an Albright knot, for example. But absolutely critical, I think, is that once you've got that sort of bit of braid on there, that bite guard or trace, whatever you want to call it, that when you get to the fly, you do this. Now that is like a little Rapala knot. And what it allows this fly to do is actually fish on this really nice kind of hinge knot, and that's going to give the fly tons and tons of movement. With all fly fishing, your kit's important, and none more so than when you're pike fly fishing. We've got that heavyweight rod here, and I've got that nice sort of bite guard. But really crucial when you go fly fishing for pike is how you cast this kit. And just look at that fly. It's absolutely massive. It's got loads and loads of air resistance in it, and it absorbs quite a lot of water. And an everyday kind of trout cast will kind of work, but it's not very efficient. And let's face it, if you go out fishing, you're trying to have fun, so you want to make things as easy as possible for yourself. There's a dead simple way of doing that, and it's all about something called line speed. We've got to get plenty and plenty of line speed into the line there, and that's going to help get that fly out over to where our fish are. Now, how do we do that? Well, we bring in my case, my left hand. I'm a right-handed caster, so I'm going to use my left hand, and I'm going to do something called double hauling. And a double haul looks like this. Basically, I just pull on the line and feed it up through the rod, pull on the line, feed up through the rod. If we kind of slow this down, I'll show you exactly what's happening. Here we go. That hand, as I lift, just gives a little tug on the line, and then as the rod comes back, I will feed the line back up through the rod. And what's this going to do? Well, with each tug, I really place a hell of a lot of tension, a real bend into the rod, what we call loading the rod. And in turn, that means that when I come forwards, it's bent so much that as it stops, this huge amount of energy flies out of the rod straight into the line. And it looks like this. Here we go. It's called double hauling. Haul it and feed it back, haul it forwards, feed it back again, haul it forwards. And out that line flies. And it just makes things a lot easier. It's absolutely essential for fly fishing for pike. Oh, whoa! And there we go. Look at that. Just a little tweak there. And pike on. Fantastic. All that was just that little tiny bit of extra energy, and all of a sudden that fly sort of just pulsated, and this thing's bloody nailed it. But whoa, hey, that's what I love about them. They're quite aerobatic little fish. It's nailed that fly right in the corner of his mouth. There it goes again, another jump, beautiful. Now this fish, in actual fact, although I've got my unhooking mat and my net here, I don't really need all of that. I can get down to the edge here with this smaller fish and try and keep them in the water. It's a good way of looking after them. The fish I caught earlier could have probably eaten this for a bit of a snack, but nonetheless, there we are. Still a perfect little predator. What a beautiful little fish that is. Again, look out for their choppers. In these fish, they're just as aggressive, and those teeth can open you up pretty quickly. And so I'm not going to mess around. I'm not going to be using my fingers to unhook this. I'll get my long nose forceps, and we'll just have that fly out and the fish back pretty quickly. It's absolutely minced, that fly. And there it is, look at that, that's that big black silhouette pike fly. It's just a bunch of marabou and a bit of crystal hair. And I absolutely love this fly, it's one of my real favourites for pike. Now this little chap's giving me a bit of fun, so let's get him back. Oh, there he goes. That was great fun. Let's try and get another one. So it's drawing to the close of a really cold October day, and the fish have gone off a little bit now. But hopefully what you've seen, you trout anglers, has actually proved that fly fishing isn't all about just sort of trout and salmon and grayling, but in actual fact you can take your fly rod and line and go out there and catch a really great species, these carp and these pike on fly. And coarse anglers too. It shows you that in actual fact it's not all that difficult. Get to grips with the casting, get yourself a little bit of this fly kit, get out there and have a go. You might surprise yourself with the amount of fish that you catch using this method of fishing.